Hey, I'm Nathan Brandt, today here in the Coal School to talk to you about all of the different kinds of materials that we sell at Coal Iron. So one of the goals that we have is to bring really hard to find or in weird size material and make it accessible to the home user, you. So a couple of the different materials that we've got here before us today, A33, we've got 5160 and large flat bar, we've got some 1044, we've got H13, and we do a half round H13. Here we've got some 4140 and some 1045. So today we're going to be talking about all the different variations and why you might use them for your project. So for all of the steels that you're going to see here today, check out the ASMI Heat Treaters Guide Companion. It's an app that you can put on your phone that's incredibly helpful. You can search all the materials that we've got here, 1044, 5160, or any weird steels that you've got in your home shop already. This is a great way to get really good, solid starting point information for heat treating in your home shop. So first off, we've got 1044. So you'll notice this is 1 point lower. So it's actually a lower manganese content than 1045. That makes it a little bit less likely to quench crack, which is helpful when you're doing a thin cross section like on an axe bit. And so you're gonna heat this and forge it, forges beautifully. After forging this, you're going to normalize it, 1650 Fahrenheit, and then let it air cool. After that, when you're ready to heat treat, we're gonna heat that to 1555, hold it for a little bit depending on how thick the cross section is, and quench that in water with lots of agitation to make sure that the steam jacket that forms does not keep the water from cooling the billet effectively. All right, so next up, we're gonna take a look at our 1045. We've got this available in a myriad of different sizes. This is excellent hammer stock. 1045, you're going to normalize it after forging 1650F and then let it air cool. And when you're ready to heat treat, you're going to take it to 1555. And once again, water quench with lots of agitation, because for a hammer, you're gonna have a pretty thick cross section. That's why we're not using the 1044. All right, so up next is 4140. This is currently available in our axe stock, which is 1x3. Soon we will have it available as well in the hammer stock sizes. So for 4140, this is going to be a really versatile, what I would call a tough steel. So maybe you won't get quite the level of hardness you would from some of the pure carbon steels, but you're gonna get a lot better resistance to chipping and cracking and rolling. The edge on a 4140 axe is very, very tough. For annealing this after forging, you're gonna heat it up to 1600 degrees F and let it air cool. And when you're ready to heat treat, you're gonna take that up to 1500 degrees and quench. You can technically quench this in water. And if you're really trying to push the hardness, you can experiment with that. Water with lots of agitation, I would recommend warm water with lots of agitation. But more readily, we're gonna see this quenched in Parks 50 or our 50 grade quenchant that we sell on the website. So for more information on this material and to see what we have available, go to coaliron.com. So up next is our H13. This is a weird one. This is an air hardening steel. So after forging this, and you're gonna wanna forge this very hot, you're not gonna wanna let it get down to temperature because it gets really hard. After you're done forging it, it is not recommended to normalize it. You can anneal it, but in most circumstances, we're gonna forge it, allow it to air cool, and then we're gonna stick it in the furnace and get it up between 1825 and 1905. That's kind of the range we're shooting for. We wanna let it sit in there and soak for a period of time, depending on how big that part is. For something like a big die, you might leave it in there for half hour. Once it's up to temperature, you're gonna bring it out of the furnace and let it sit in open, still air. If you're trying to push the hardness, again, you can put a fan on it to help try to air quench it a little faster, but that's gonna leave you with a very hard die. And so you can temper that back from that brittle hardness level by tempering it usually around 1000 degrees, which sounds extremely hot, but this is such an alloyed steel to make everything kosher. That's generally the parameters that we're gonna use. If you're gonna weld it, I would also recommend preheating before you weld. Get everything tacked, stick it in the furnace for 1000 degrees, bring it out and weld it while it's hot. That'll really help keep it from cracking. So for more information on available sizes, shapes that we have in our H13, check out coaliron.com. So up next is our 1060. This is my personal favorite axe forging billet. And these are available in roughly 4-pound billet sizes, 1x3 currently, but we do have other sizes available, and you can always reach out, info@coaliron.com. So 1060, when properly heat treated before tempering, can reach up to 65 Rockwell, which is crazy hard. So for the normalizing cycle, after you forge this material, you're gonna take that to 1625 in your furnace and then let it air cool. And then after normalizing, when you're ready to heat treat this, you're gonna take it up to 1500, hold for a moment, depending on cross-sectional thickness, and you're gonna quench it. Now here's the thing, 1060 gets crazy hard when you quench it in either water with lots of agitation or brine with lots of agitation. In my experience, if you're getting quench cracking, move over to Parks 50. You're gonna get a little bit less hardness, but you're usually tempering that back anyway. So I always shoot for around 55 Rockwell after tempering. So I'll do 1500 degrees, quench in 50 grade quench it, and then I will temper back at roughly 400 degrees. So for more information on the 1060, check out coaliron.com. Now up next, 5160. Something to note with this material is that this is called a flat rounded edge. So the cross section's a little bit different, but this is still 1x3, and we sell this in roughly a 5-pound billet. And this is a really high quality axe steel. I really like working with 5160, and it forges beautifully. So after forging, when you're ready to normalize, you're gonna take this up to 1600 degrees, let it air cool, and when you're ready to heat treat it, we're gonna take it to 1525. You can quench this in water, but it's preferred to use either Parks 50 or a polymer quench, which can relegate some of the issues with using an oil quench because it's water-based. So for more information on all of that and the polymer quench, which will be an upcoming video, check out coaliron.com. And finally, we're gonna take a look at A33. Now this is a weird steel. This was designed specifically for forging and blacksmithing. This is available in a few different shapes, hexagonal or flutagon, which you can see has this little suck down from their foundry process, I'm assuming. Now A33 is a steel that you're going to forge to shape, forges readily, and when you're ready to heat treat it, you're gonna heat it up anywhere between 1650 and 1950. So that's quoted as salmon to lemon color, and quench agitating in water. No tempering cycle, no any other working needed. It's ready to go, hard and really viable for lots of punches and drifts and things like that. So for more information on our A33 offerings, check out coaliron.com. Now for the next bit of our whole series on what materials and steels and heat treating and all that kind of stuff, we're gonna have a full video detailing each of these steels, and we're gonna go through and forge, do a normalizing cycle, heat treat, and then we're gonna go and actually test the hardness at our local heat treat shop so we can get a true Rockwell expectation when you're forging these materials and heat treating them in your home shop. So for more information, check out our YouTube channel or go to coaliron.com. Thank you so much.